Floyd Productions present Silly Bob, Pet Invisible. Nobody knows why a pet could become invisible on the moon, but invariably they do. It's something to do with refraction of light, time, distortion, and lampposts. Cupid Stunt first bought his dog unknowingly from the butcher of Vienna. He's a butcher's dog, or should that be... oh, what the heck. He named his dog Frank after Sinatra or Blue Eyes because it was always howled at the house down when the song Chicago was played on the radio. Some people think that tramp Hank Stinkerton may have stolen Frank from Cupid Stunt, but that's not true. The truth is that, one Wednesday morning, Cupid Stunt was changing the oil on his rocket-powered roller skates, ready for his next trip to the jam factory to buy some sandwiches and grab a chinwag with his girlfriend, Zena. That's when Frank the dog went to sniff Cupid Stunt's boots. He touched the ignition button with his nose, and whoosh! That scared the shit out of him, and he hasn't been back since, not even after being bribed by a string of sausages and a biscuit. It was only Hank Stinkerton who could regain the confidence of the poor dog with his cheese and jam sandwiches and makeshift bed of old smelly socks. Keep an eye out for the clouds of yellow smoke. An alternative rumour is that Lord Creosote hypnotised Cupid Stunt in the jam factory, so they would give all of his possessions away to reimburse his weekly rent money that he hadn't paid, and Stunt, under deep hypnosis, gave his dog Frank to tramp Hank Stinkerton. Instead, who knows? That being said, where the hell is the Invisible Man? Last felt down the Dog and Duck pub, Frank's the only one who can see the invisible, as his senses on the same wavelength. Anyway, Silly Bob's invisible cat SQUAWK was bought from blind Angus at the invisible pet shop on the dark side of the moon for £1 and a packet of peanuts, which nearly bought him an invisible monkey and a photo booth, but he declined, buying instead a collar for the cat so it would be easier to trace it if it wandered. SQUAWK, the invisible cat, nearing his 5th birthday, old Silly Bob decided to bake a cat food cake for him. Ingredients as follows: 1 invisible mouse trap, 1 invisible mouse, a pinch of catnip, a smidgen of salt, 1 McGinger biscuit, 1 bird brain, some essence of fog, and a tin of invisible cat food. Stir vigorously in a bowl, place in a grease-proof baking tin and cook at 150 degrees for 1 hour. Leave to cool for 15 minutes, decoration if necessary, to your heart's content. And hey presto, you have 1 invisible cat cake. Silly Bob followed the instructions to the last letter except for one thing. He'd forgotten that Cupid Stunt had borrowed some nitroglycerin from the cupboard where Silly Bob had kept SQUAWK the cat's invisible food. Stunt had put it back on the wrong shelf, the cat food shelf, so guess what? Silly Bob, instead of the cat food, put a tin of nitroglycerin in the cake. Unbeknown to Silly Bob, the cake had been baked in the oven for over half an hour, including the explosive. You Silly Bob, you Cupid Stunt, you silly Bob, you Cupid Stunt, you Cupid Stunt.